health services during the pandemic under ABRK. Just to run about, I would just say, as we were, as to begin with, I would like to mention my warm regards and giving me an opportunity for me to present second time to the jury members of the award. So, to begin with, I would like to say, as it was already mentioned, that as we were focused on COVID, and under ABRK, we are categorized into four categories of 1,650 procedures. And four categories is 2A, 2B, 3A, and 4A. 4A is emergency services, 3A is tertiary care, and 2B is complex secondary care, and 2A is simple secondary care services. And these were absolutely restricted to the public health institutes under ABRK scheme. When the COVID started, the number of cases started increasing in Karnataka, we realized that all the focus went more towards the COVID and less number of focus was given to the non-COVID services. Mainly it is noticed because the people found to have lot of fear and there's lot of anxiety. As a graph later, I would take it forward and show to you. We find the graph in the month of April and May, the less number of services were utilized in the government hospital, mainly because of the lockdown, and secondly because of the fear and anxiety developed by the people that if they reach the hospital they'll also get COVID. So thus there was a government order issued on May 3rd to open the services not only in the government centers which follow the guidelines as per the WHO to provide COVID and non-COVID services. We also opened up to the private hospitals nominated in the districts by the deputy commissioner, the non-COVID services to be opened up and the services to be provided. So there's one relaxation of this circular, which I mentioned in my previous presentation also on 29/3, that is relaxation criteria for the secondary care from the government to the private hospitals. And next slide. There's one more circular. On 6th, also on 5th, 6th of June, again, we noticed there was not significant number of cases of non-COVID services provided in the government hospitals. So one more circular was issued to enhance more number of cases. And overall, we still found from the month of June onwards, we achieved about 47,000 of patients utilizing the non-COVID services. And now in the month of November, almost we are 47,000. Prior to this, we found a trend, almost in between. And totally, we have treated about 3 lakh patients in the month from the span of 7 to 8 months. And we are covered mostly in the government hospitals. And this is saving again the catastrophic cost of 400 crore of the cost of the medical services. And as I've already spoken about COVID, I'll not speak much about the COVID. I will only speak about the non-COVID services. And mainly it was given for specialty like dialysis. There were several patients who were already in chronic renal failure who continued to receive the treatment. So even those patients were not deprived of dialysis services. And there was an exclusively dialysis centers which could cater only to non-COVID services. For example, Institute of Nephrology in Bangalore did continue as a non-COVID center even during the pandemic, giving exclusive services for the dialysis patient. And other services like mainly it was deliveries and C-sections, which was uninterrupted services provided by the government health sector, both in the government hospital as well as in the private hospitals, and continued with chemotherapy, radiotherapy for the few stray cases of oncology cases, and cardiac services also continued. Like Jaydeva continued to remain as a COVID centers catering to the cardiac services. Uninterrupted services continued in Karnataka during the COVID pandemic, and also we continued with the medical services. The specialty mainly it was given for medical services. Under medicine, it is more of dengue, malaria, gastroenteritis cases, and sometimes just acute febrile illnesses. All this specialty care of services continued during the pandemic. Hence, we have not ignored or neglected non-COVID services in the pandemic of COVID. And where is she? Where did I go? Yeah. Uh, As I go back to say that again, we have totally empaneled hospitals, about 2,851 government hospitals. In that, about private is 923 private hospitals, which are empaneled under ABRK, providing the services. And about during the pandemic of COVID, we had more number of private hospitals getting empaneled, which were not under the SAST, under the scheme, under ABRK. Those were about 442 hospitals. Overall, to say for the services of the COVID, it is about 161 and nearly 500 private hospitals. Next. Yeah, our strength regarding the healthcare system during the COVID is, again, as mentioned, is earlier slides also, creation or upgradation of the ICU facilities. As I skipped to mention that even during our main focus in non-COVID services also one of the respiratory suspected case of COVID, which were in the transient period of respiratory problem, when the test is given and the sample, the report is still not ready, and they're having all respiratory symptoms and acute respiratory failure also. So they were also treated and they were not neglected. And so hence we have to strengthen towards our ICU facilities. Again, oxygen supply beds, manifold, ventilator, PPE, drugs, testing facilities, and increasing our human resource and so our professionals also on the priority basis. Next. Overall summary, what I would like to emphasize more in this presentation is during the pandemic, we were also doing a non-pandemic services, providing the specialty care treatment to almost 3 lakh population, 3 lakh patients during the COVID period for the non-COVID services, mainly for OBG, for delivery, C-section, and for neonates, newborn cases, and dialysis, cardiac cases, and few cases of oncology, and majority of them in medical care, it was of respiratory failure, asthma, it could be bronchitis, asthma cases, and respiratory failure cases were given the best treatment. Inclusive of this, ABRK ensured that private healthcare sector contribution in curative health remains significantly important in reducing the burden of non-COVID packages to the government sector. The non-COVID patients performed more in the government hospitals and private hospitals. About 70% was done during mainly in the government hospitals. The saving of for the patient, out of pocket expenditure was about 400 crore for more than 3 lakh patients. That is in the span of 7 months, sir. And the number of empaneled hospitals also increased. We got more number of hospitals getting empaneled with us. There was a steady increase in pre-authorization performed under ABRK, ensured adequate coverage and reduction in out of pocket expenditure. The infrastructure and equipment procured during the COVID time also enhanced to be utilized for the non-COVID services in the long-term benefit. Thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a very sensitive aspect that you have touched. See, we are overwhelmed with the crisis, unprecedented, presence of COVID. So they took all attention, efforts, everything to their side because that was the need of the hour. But nonetheless, the other part that you have taken care of is excellent, especially when you indulge, involve, and take it, services of the private sector in a comprehensive way, benefiting the, the patients who are non-COVID affected across various diseases and departments. So this is wonderful. I mean, I have nothing much to comment, but to say that the HR position, how it has been, shared between the COVID and the non-COVID when the situational demands are in a different scale.
Yes, sir. What happened was we looped in our medical colleges into the functioning, and we mobilized all the junior, resident, and postgraduates to be doing the COVID services, and all the seniors and the senior staff remained at the non-COVID services. That's how our healthcare workers, frontline workers were divided, and round the clock the services were provided. Wherever the focus and the density was more, we had more number of staffs working there, and including the group D. And it was well planned and well done by recruiting more of the PGs. Rather, we motivated more of the PGs from the medical colleges who did timely hour of services, uninterrupted services. Almost for 6 months, we were all of us working continuously in Karnataka. Thank you, sir.
And the infrastructure that has, I mean, especially with the COVID time, and the COVID-related infrastructures were much in demand, and probably at that time they were attending to COVID. Now,
Yes, sir.
since you are looking also the other side of the story, the general population, have you now have a situation where you have earmarked the infrastructure for the non-COVID patients?
Yes, sir. We do have that, because now we are in a declining trend of the COVID services. It's almost less than 1% found in Bangalore itself, for example. We are focused more on the non-COVID services also, regarding the infrastructure with whatever the available funds, because we have done timely payment to the hospitals, to the government, as well as the private hospitals. So this has enabled the hospital to improve the infrastructure and improve the human resource manpower services. So thus we are able to stabilize ourselves in the non-COVID services during the off season of the COVID.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yes,
Please
sir.
tell me, how was your overall experience with the private hospitals? No, we say they are exploitative, they charge more. And is there any sort of ceiling you have prescribed for them?
Yes, sir. So thank you for this question, sir, because I was a cluster head for the private hospitals in Bangalore. I was leading, and at that time when we started with the pandemic, there was no private hospitals to be empaneled in Bangalore, because Bangalore is densely populated, and it has got more number of private hospitals in any other city compared to Bangalore. Bangalore has got more number, and the hospitals were reluctant to get empaneled. Reason being is, though the empanelment guidelines was much more relaxed. It is auto empanelment. The moment they submit the request, it gets automatically empaneled into the system, and they start providing the COVID services. But unfortunately, though the empanelment guidelines was relaxed, we didn't have much of the private hospitals getting into the system of the COVID services. The reason being is of the charges, because ours is a comprehensive charging for which they were not willing. Secondly, they were very skeptical about the payment. How would the government make the payment, whether there would be timely payment? But this, we had couple of rounds of meeting with the private hospitals. We started with 0 private hospital. Then in few days and few weeks, from 20, it came to about 120 hospitals. And we have about 330 hospitals in Bangalore alone, out of which about 220 hospitals or daycare centers. So those were eliminated. And those who had the bed capacity of more than 100 and above, they were focused to provide the services, and gradually many hospitals joined, and totally we have about 120 hospitals in Bangalore alone providing the services, uninterrupted services. And we had a timely compliance of the patient, of the hospital, in providing the services to the COVID patient.
One last
So,
question. Tell me about this. Do you have some online system like in Delhi, that these are the number of beds available with the ICU, with the ventilators, and these are the vacant beds available?
yes, sir. We have a robotic IT system in Karnataka, where the patient, as soon as once the patient test report comes positive of the medical triaging done by telephonic by the doctors, the patient is categorized mild, moderate, severe. The mild and moderate may require general or HDU bed, depending on the other comorbid condition. There could be several patients requiring ICU and ICU ventilator. The patients, based on the symptoms, are categorized, and those who need treatment or been referred by the portal itself. It is an online services provided by the triaging, and immediately the patient is ferried by 108 ambulance to the respective hospital, and the hospital which has got integrated portal IT system where it reflects with the patient name, which patient has taken which type of bed and what is the type of admission to be continued. Again, at the hospital point, the patient also will have a triaging to understand whether patient really needs ICU or it is just a general ward or a HTU. So accordingly, the patient can be changed online and the services are provided to the patient. And they raise a pre-auth, and we also make the reimbursement by the claim submission.
Thank you. Just great. Excellent.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am, for
Thank
the